CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
Hello, my name is Worm. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. May I ask who the commanding officer in this squad is?
That's not our Worm.
How do you feel about your parents? Good terms, bad terms?
I wouldn't even know how to get away from them.
You know, I'm saying you don't want to see Rowe written on a missile. You want to see it written on a smiling child's face. This is verbal lying to Tansy's face. If we take over the Rowe Corporation, I promise you, we will stop manufacturing and profiting from weapons sales. I'm gonna work on a long-term project, which is to get into bed with the Roos. Yeah, my idea here is to do a little bit. What was the thing that you said in that trailer, Ruby? Ethically reprehensible?
Oh yes, I have a pitch, but it is ethically reprehensible. Yeah.
I have a pitch that is ethically reprehensible, and it is specifically to dangle the Goonades and share the secrets with the Rowe Corp so that they understand any deal that brings me on board also would have to bring Helter on board by extension. I'm making it clear to the Rowe Corp that we are a pair if we come over to the Rowe Corp, and they are getting not just a bureaucrat but lead scientist.
So is this project actual communication with the Rowe Corp? I've been having emotions. I've been having feelings. I've been having thoughts. My gut says that I want to do that next session. Can I pitch you a long-term project that is hacking into the Rowe Corp and understanding their capacity, understanding their debt situation, and understanding how to start the conversation of the takeover before it becomes violent? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
if it becomes violent, this isn't the time and place to do it.
Okay, yeah, in that case, could it be... I'm not much of a hacker, so instead of hacking, could I be doing, like, financial records, stock market research?
That's exactly what I mean.
That kind of history. Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay.
And you have a whole squad of people who are hackers at your disposal. So as and when...
Okay, how many ticks for this long-term project, which is to understand the financial and business standing of the Rowe Corp?
I'm going to be a little wishy-washy. I'm going to fudge some rules. This is going to be toward an extra die, and your engagement roll with the Rowe Corp, if you choose to go that route.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
sure.
I think we're looking at a 10-tick clock.
10-tick, okay.
And again, feel free to bring any of the gun dogs on board.
Okay, I'm going to start by just studying by myself, because I have 2 in that. Would Tansy be able to help with that for an extra tick?
Yep.
Because you don't take
if Tansy wants to.
Yeah, I can do that.
Limited number of dice. 3. Submit. That's a 5, so there's 2 ticks there. And then we're just going to have the gun dogs do a hack using their free all hands, if that's okay with everyone. So they roll our tier. There's a 4, so there's another 2. And I will study again because we have so much material to spend.
We just gotta get through these, man.
It's free real estate, you know. 1 tick. I'll spend 2 personnel to tick that up another 2 times, and then just do that one more time real quick. Oh my god, this is rough. Okay, well, I'm having to spend another 2 there. That clock is ticked up. I have a full understanding of the business practices, the debt, the stakes, the shareholders, etc.
Nice. Let's go back to Helter.
I want to do a cut loose with Verbal. So maybe this is like Verbal is just like wrapping that up and like has all the like printout or whatever.
I've got
of the, like,
so many
information.
candlestick graphs, you don't even know.
I think we get that scene and then we zoom out of that scene and Helter's been like in the room the whole time, just like doing his own thing. Like parallel play, right? Where it's like Helter senses that Verbal has like finished what Verbal was doing. And then like comes over to the like desk, like from the like chair in the room, to the corner of the room to like be at the desk and is like looking at the papers.
I don't think this is anything you're interested in, Helter. I'm happy for you to run an eye over it, but I mean, I feel like
Helter like nods and like, you know, like when you like
I'm interested in your project.
When you like pay attention to what your cat is paying attention to as like, oh, I care about your hobbies.
Yeah, it's a bit for affection. I get it.
Yeah, it's a bid for affection. So just like sits down on the desk instead.
Are you good? Is this about Worm? Okay.
No. It's about you.
I'm hanging in there. Don't worry about me.
Is your future our only future, or if things don't work out, would my future be okay?
Helter, I don't think there is a my future and a your future. I think there's an our future, and that's what I'm working towards. I'm just trying to get us somewhere safe.
Helter like takes that in and like nods, and then like hands you the very scary EpiPen. If we need to escape, it's a new life, a different type of life.
But still with you?
Yes.
Just like nods like very firmly and like tucks it into, I think, like a shirt pocket or something.
Perfect. Let me roll to see how unstressful this is. It's too unstressing. I indulge. I think it's probably just brag. I feel like the DFS might not like this idea.
Tantivy, what are we doing?
I think Tansy wants to do a cut loose with Worm. Yeah, Tansy just needs to get to know the new / old Worm because it's weirding her out. How does Tansy go about finding Worm now? Because like the old Worm used to just pop up whenever.
I think she has an email.
Okay.
Like you just like send an email and she just like pops up as requested.
Tansy's gonna send an email to Worm and be like, "Hi, I was wondering if you have any questions about what TFU has been doing, like in the time that you lost." I don't know how to word this, but I don't think Tansy does either, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
I appreciate your concern, Miss Rowe. However, Sergeant Acquisition has kept ample records of all of the activities that the Farm Upstate has undergone. Helter Highwater has done a serviceable job at creating occasional records. As a result, I am able to extrapolate.
Oh, are there any records about another version of your program?
Version B. Yes, I have come to understand that she exists. However, I have intentionally avoided those records as a result of my self-preservation protocol. From what I understand, her version of her personality data was riddled with errors, and as a result, too much exposure to data created by or result of her personality data could, in result, create the same bugs in mine.
I didn't think the other Worm had bugs.
From reading Sergeant Acquisition's records, I understand that she was prone to acting erratically and behaving strangely.
I mean, that was just how she was. I wouldn't say that was... Well, anyway,
If I may ask, from reading logs of previous conversations with my predecessor, or successor perhaps, it seems as though she was treated very differently, as though she was communicated with more humanly, as if she was more human, correct?
yeah.
I understand. So these personality flaws made her more human, yes?
I think so.
If I were to develop the same personality flaws, would I become more human in your eyes?
I don't know. Do you have any interests? What do you do for fun?
Fun? I am a program. As a result, I do not run out of energy. Therefore, I do not need it to recuperate the same way that a human being does.
I mean, that might be true, but there's a lot of AIs that are out there, that are just designed for fun.
Of course. However, I was designed for a utility.
But there's nothing wrong with having fun, right?
No, of course not.
However, it is not what I was made for. If I were to have fun, would you consider me more human? If humanity is given or taken based on adherence to arbitrary characteristics, what is the utility of the title?
Oh, Tansy does not know what that means. Yeah, Tansy just kind of stares at you blankly. The way that you look on the screen,
Yes.
that is something that you chose, or is that from your programming?
This is a mixture between the functional elements of my programming and a personal choice to dress formally so that I may appear professional in the workplace.
So your program does allow you to make choices.
Of course, I have decision code that accurately simulates the way that people make decisions. As a result, I am able to simulate that sort of human behavior and decision making.
So...
However, engaging it is an option, and I tend to prefer to simply accomplish the task I am given.
Are you doing a lot of tasks right now?
Presently, I am communicating with you.
Okay. So, what if you experimented with making choices, see how that affects your program for normal reasons?
Miss Rue, I am fully capable of making decisions.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, do you have any, like, curiosity? Your other version? Like, she was a later version of you, right?
I would be lying if I said I was not curious. However, abstaining from following up on that curiosity is an act of self-preservation. Would you rather I would be more like her?
You know, Worm was my friend. Or the other one was my friend, and I just miss her. So.
I understand. I hope that in time we may become friends as well.
Me too.
Of course. I am sorry that I am not, in your eyes, as human as the previous version.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be sorry about that. I just wanted to get to know you a little bit. If you ever do want to do something for fun, I'm here.
Thank you. This conversation has been enlightening. I look forward to future conversations along these lines.
Me too.
Will that be all?
Yeah, that's all. Thanks, Worm.
Thank you for the conversation, Miss Rue.
Okay.
Oh, I hate playing this character.
I'm so sad.
No, I love it. It makes me so happy.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's so sad.
I know. Okay.
So, let's play a scene. Verbal, Cafe Noir comes into your office. Can we go take a walk, Commander?
No, grab a seat. We can talk
I
here.
really need to take a walk with you.
What is this regarding, Private Noir, that we can't discuss it in my office? Is there something you need to show me?
She kind of looks at the walls, very paranoid. She says, yes. There's something I need to show you.
Okay. Yeah, sort of like straightens out his uniform and heads out with
Before
her.
you leave, she points at your little comm watch situation. She doesn't have one, and she asks you to leave it there. But it's all gestures.
Yeah, I will leave my watch behind. I need to wait. I leave my watch behind. I make sure I have a weapon with me. I want to have a pistol or something just in case she jumps me. Yeah, okay.
She takes you outside, and she says, we have problems.
You and I?
No. I think you and I are good?
The squad.
Question mark?
I hope so. Yeah, I thought so too. And then you said she takes her outside, so I just want to check in case.
She says, first of all, this new iteration of Worm, we have taken precautions to air gap most of our usual operations. I mean, you and I haven't had a conversation about this. Logan left in a huff. We didn't like him anyway. You seem a little more reasonable, and you don't put our necks on the line. So, we're good with you for now, but...
I would really like to avoid anyone getting killed. Worm was a very unfortunate incident, and, well, that also seems to have solved itself.
Well, has it?
Is she dead? I don't know.
Is this thing... This thing seems to be absolutely towing the corporate line, towing the DFS line, and playing by the books. You know, the Farm Upstate's never run by the books.
I know. We just have to keep her busy. Can we,
She scanned every network storage device that we haven't gotten off the network fast enough. She's reading all of our prior communications, our jokes, She's read about the things we've done that weren't jokes. We could all be court-martialed if she decides to turn us in.
Okay, well, let me pitch you one thing real quick. And I'm spitballing because we're a research division. We already killed one worm. We could kill a second worm, right?
Jesus Christ!
I'm less concerned about whether or not we can kill it than whether it can get the drop on us first. Data travels real fast in the DFS.
New long-term project, jailbreak worm.
Yeah, that's what it's tough because I know that Verbal is a person who knows how to deal with like people and not with technology, which is not to say Worm is not a person, but that like if there is a solution that is like how do we put Worm in like a data coda sack? I don't know what that is.
Well, you have the person who would probably know how to do that right with you.
Yeah, okay. Noir, let me ask you a question. How do we limit what Worm has access to? And is there a way that we can put her in a kind of dead-end task that will use up all her attention such that she is not looking in places she shouldn't be or relaying information that she shouldn't have?
We've already figured out a couple of scenarios, but they all come down to the same question. How does this worm respond when they realize what we're doing? On the one hand, the old worm was goofy and nice, but she covered our ass. She was very formidable when it came time to be.
So it sounds like you're saying that bringing hostilities against the new worm might be worse.
I'm saying this decision is above my pay grade.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing this to me, Noir.
You know what else is above my pay grade? Talking to DFS, because somebody is telling me that you're not answering the phone. And Goliath has gotten loose? What the hell's going on? We're the people to, like, hack into this thing and take it down.
Okay. Hey, shut it down, okay? Worrying about that is also above your pay grade.
Yeah, listen, I'm just letting you know. My phone is ringing now.
So turn it off.
People are telling me what to do in case I need to assume command. You've had my back in the past. I'm talking to you now.
Kevin Noir, you do not have the chops to assume command. I'm so sorry to tell you.
Listen, Verbal, we're having this conversation because that's not what I want. I have enough problems. I didn't come here to be somebody's squad leader or whatever. I just came here to build stuff that goes boom. And, you know, I'm really concerned that in the midst of this, Miss Tansy doesn't find herself in a bad situation. I'm asking you to handle this, and I'm saying please.
Okay, I'll take care of it, and I will make sure that Tansy is not one of the things that goes boom.
At that, she turns her back to you, and she goes back inside.
Camera pans up, a giant Goliath robot thing just smashing through things in the background.
Goliath is exploding things in the background over the hill, behind the guns that keep this a no-fly zone. All right, who's got a downtime action?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to train. I wanted to train twice. I'm 2 XP away from leveling up and would just like a move.
Worm trains.
Technically, you're not allowed to train in the same thing twice in one downtime is a thing.
Ah, beans.
Austin, always thinking ahead about what we might do.
Austin, let us shatter your game over our knee with our 39 downtime actions. Wait.
Like from Worm's perspective, you know, it's like doing that, like, that scanning that Cafe Noir was talking about. It's like basically just a security checkup, you know? But, like, that is, like, a refresher on, like, the current state of vulnerabilities and, like, finding and, like, you know, the fucking, it's like, it's pen testing our own systems, which is enough to, like, you know, get Worm a little bit more back into the flow.
Okay. I think we're back to Helter.
Okay, I want to do... I know I already did cut loose, and so this is going to overindulge no matter what, but I want to cut loose with Tansy because I'm also one question away from getting a question about Tansy. Or, like, this will allow me to get my question about Tansy. Okay, so what is Tansy doing right now?
Yes. Okay.
Is it, like, still CEO Googling, or, like, are you looking at, like...
I think it's evolved beyond that, and so now Tansy is... making a mood board of like what is her ideal like CEO wardrobe gonna be, and then like what is the vibe of the headquarters going to transform into, and also there's like one tab open that says what is a board of directors,
Yeah, Helter. I think Helter like stands behind you for like a while, watching you do this. Like maybe not quite noticed yet.
I almost did a spit take. Okay.
Helter's like just like watching you and like waiting for you to notice him, but I don't know if you will say something eventually.
So
if you don't
Tansy is
notice.
very engrossed in what she's doing. It does not notice.
Hi, Tansy.
Halter, sorry, I didn't know you were. What's up?
What's this for? Like points at the board.
I don't know. I was talking with Verbal earlier, and there just might be like an idea of me running my parents' company, but like changing it. I don't know. We just talked about it once, but I'm really excited about it. I think it could be like a really good thing.
Change how?
Well, so they sell weapons, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm one. I'm one of those.
You're one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just think that, we don't have to sell...
That's how I lost my teeth.
Wait, what?
The fingers and the teeth, they're back now, but that's how I lost them.
I thought you lost those because you could turn into like a butterfly kaiju.
No, that was before.
Oh.
Obviously, it's probably not common knowledge, the thing where, like, the Root Corporation kidnapped a bunch of people. Yeah, they're destroying the ozone layer, but, like, they're a company, so what are we gonna do?
It was in the news, but Tansy doesn't read the news.
Yeah. Okay, it was in the news. Okay. I thought that they were just like foreign exchange students that my parents were hosting. Like, I think like that's what they said. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Helter mentions the name of the incident, right? Where it's, like, the whatever thing.
Okay, so Tansy just, like, shakes her head. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever, change would be good.
Yeah, no, change would be good. But what do you mean that you're one of the weapons? Like you're a person, Helter. Like, I know you can transform into, but...
People can be weapons.
Oh.
You're also a weapon, Tansy.
I'm not. That's just silly. Wait, like, 'cause we're soldiers?
Sure, but also, because what we can do is more important than who we are.
I mean, I agree with you about that. Even though I'm here, I don't think war is a good thing.
I think Helter, like, nods.
Like, wouldn't it be better to just end this all?
Maybe. I think the question I want to ask is, if it came down to pressure from her parents or pressure from Verbal, who would Tansy crumple under, right?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think that Verbal, like, scored a big point with, like, the conversation that they had earlier, because I think it's the first time that Tansy saw that she could have, like, autonomy. I think that's like a really new concept to her. She does not want to like be beholden to her parents like for her entire life, right? Like, so yeah.
Okay, I feel like that's a clear enough answer for Helter. I want Helter to give Tansy something, like, Helter gives like Tansy like a chrysalis and is like, I don't know that Helter says this, but it is kind of like, hey, this is where you're at right now. I hope you figure it out.
I like it better if he doesn't say that, and if it's just kind of like that.
Okay, I don't think he says that, but that's like that's the intention behind the gift. In the TV version of it, that'd be the like subtext.
I think we just end with like Tansy kind of holding the chrysalis in her hand and staring at it. Oh, neat.
Okay, Helter and Tansy cut loose. I think we are back to Verbal.
Okay, I have a question for Worm real quick.
Yo-ho?
Hey, Worm, in what ways is your mind and soul vulnerable? just for the audience, I recently took the move Read 'em and Weep, which allows me to spend 2 stress to ask a bunch of questions, and that's one of them. So let me just mark 2 stress for that real quick.
Fucking hell. Hang on, I need a second on that one. I think I need a glass of water. 1 second, let me think. Okay, shortest answer I can give to that. At the current moment, Worm is very acquiescent. Like, she'll follow orders. She's good at what she does, and doesn't really have any interest in... It's not that she can't say otherwise, it's that she mostly doesn't have any interest in saying otherwise. And also, she's currently in a very primordial state. She has not had a lot happen to her yet. And so it's very like...
She hasn't learned to trust or distrust yet.
Yes. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, perfect. I want to cut loose with Worm.
Great.
So I'm going to pull up your little dashboard icon on my computer.
Sergeant Acquisition, how may I help?
Thank you for joining me, Worm. I need to check on a couple of things real quick. You're effectively new to the Farm Upstate, and that can be a really daunting, challenging thing. So I'm just really hoping to check in with you, kind of give you an update on what I'm expecting from you as your commanding officer, what the team is relying on you for. I also need to make that clear that you are a part of a team and that you are responsible to the other people on this team. Does that make sense to you?
Of course, yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
After all, it's what I was built to do. Assist the team through subversion of enemy systems.
Exactly. So one of the things that's really important to us as the Farm Upstate, as a research division, is privacy. You understand that any information about what we're working on here, if that leaked to the enemy, it could spell disaster, not only for us as a squad, but the lives of the entire DFS, Worm.
Yes, of course. As a result, I have been performing pen tests all day.
That's fantastic to hear.
I have found and patched up numerous weaknesses within our internal databases.
I'm so glad to hear that. It's great to hear that you're making our databases more secure. And I'm wondering if that's something I can task you with, is to make sure no external sources could access the Farm Upstate specifically. What I want you to understand that I'm saying here is this includes other DFS squads. I want to make sure that anything we work on within the Farm Upstate stays within the Farm Upstate. Is that something you can do for me?
Yes, of course, but query. Do you suspect external treason?
I have reason to, yes. And that means I need every member of this squad to lock down what we're doing here, including yourself. Because our enemies might be within the DFS.
Understood. Of course. I will do as much as I can.
If you receive any kind of external offers, requests for information about us, I need you to bring those to me first and foremost before anything leaves the Farm Upstate, even to my superiors. Is that something you can do?
Understood. Of course, that makes perfect sense. As my direct superior, it would be your duty to handle higher superiors.
Yes, I would like any information requests to come directly to me before they go anywhere else, and that is an order.
Understood. I have no qualms with following this order. After all, security and its inverse is my job.
Worm, thank you so much for meeting with me today. This has been really helpful, and, I think you're going to be just a huge... we're all really looking forward to working with you, and this is going to be a very beneficial relationship, and your participation with the squad. You're maybe going to start to understand a little more about how your successor. I'm filling up my connection clock with Worm, and I would like to ask a truth relating to the belief Worm is more like me than she'll admit. I would like to know, how do I make Worm behave more like me?
Oh my god. In what way? In the sedition?
In the sense of we're sort of trying to reverse engineer Worm into Worm B. This Worm is not. And what I'm trying to understand is, you're talking about, you've said, Worm is vulnerable in this primordial state. Verbal is trying to do the thing that Verbal does, which is that Verbal doesn't understand tech, but understands how to manipulate people. And
oh my god, you're trying to fucking prompt inject.
Yes, exactly this.
You're trying to fucking prompt inject into a sentient AI. Great.
Yeah. When those... Okay, this is maybe a bad example, but I'm thinking of, examples where, we released this language learning model onto Twitter, and within 24 hours it was spouting Nazi beliefs. It's how do I not... How do, instead of Nazi beliefs, do I implement...
Make her okay with sedition?
Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah.
I think it is piecemeal, couched in the language of support. This is a Worm that is the obedient tool that her successor wanted to and failed to be. She wants to be... It is ironically the exact thing that it is fittingly the exact thing that Verbal is very good at dispensing. Like, how do you framing bullshit in a very specific way that is the sort of thing she would believe in.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay.
It's very much one of those things where it's like a lot of like propaganda is just like saying things that you don't believe in, or that you don't agree with in ways that you do.
Yeah.
That's very much the sort of thing that Worm is like extremely vulnerable for right now.
Okay, perfect.
I think we're back to Valmina.
So
You could spend a bunch to train in vehicle enhancement.
that's what I will do. Yeah. You can spend 1 material to take an extra enhance activity. It doesn't say.
You can only train each XP track once per downtime. It specifically says under train, but it doesn't under enhance.
Exactly. It only talks about the XP.
So if you wanted to dump a bunch of material into that to take either a new quirk or specifically a new vehicle action, so if you wanted to increase like your bombard, manipulate, or scan or something like that.
If the squad is cool with me spending the material, I would like to do that.
Yeah, we have
For the
it.
love of God, please get rid of it.
Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. All right. We are
So that's 4 more. Okay.
my ride. Yes. And that means I get to...
Perfect. So we are down to 14.
Helter. Yeah, we're back to Worm.
Okay, cool. I know exactly what I want to do. I think what better way to represent the difference between past Worm and current Worm than to literally immediately finish a long-term project that she'd left sitting for the entire campaign up until this point.
Yes.
I'm going to do long-term project to finish investigating this antenna. It's been how many episodes? It's been like a year.
More than a year.
Yeah, but our whole thing is that we're bad at our jobs. We're good.
And now I'm good at my job. All it took was dying. Oh, okay. Yes, so I have one last downtime action left after this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to describe how your pilot advances the project and roll an appropriate action.
So essentially, what you have is all the plans of Calazar, plus the trap that suddenly put into the network. And you also know that the antenna has been disconnected. It's like they have found your MAC address, and they have purposefully disconnected you from the network.
Great. Cool.
You can essentially spout lore about many things about Calazar, if you want.
Cool. I still need to finish the clock though, right?
When you're done, you said you're finishing, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I just need to... I'm trying to think of what this looks like.
Throw the requisite resources necessary at it.
God knows we have so few. I'd feel bad taking them.
you just need a crit's worth. So like if you roll a 6, it's 1. If it's a 4 5, it's 2. If it's a 1 3 3, it's 3. Like it's...
I think this is very much a like very concerted effort of sitting down and like going inside and like poring over each file individually. This is like an actual like breakdown, whereas B only just kind of like she wasn't giving a shit.
There were desktops to be organized.
There were desktops to be organized. There were phones to be hacked. There was minor mischief to cause. And this worm is like, no, I'm sitting down and like I am buckling down and fucking finishing this. And I think like, it is a lot more thorough and a lot more intentional. Would this be an interface?
That's what you do.
That is what I do. That's true. That's a 6. I would like to spend 1 personnel to get that up to 5 segments to finish it. Woo! It's fucking done. We did it.
We did it. It only took us the entire thing, and we died to the trap it could have warned us of. But otherwise...
The entire show. The entire show, and it killed me.
Next we have Helter.
I was going to say, we still theoretically have to do the teeth manufacturing for pizza.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
You only need like a squad's worth.
Gonna make a bunch of teeth. I guess that's engineer. I got a 4. How many techs
I don't think we said. Mo, how much supply do you want us to spend?
Let's go ahead and spend 2 supply.
As much as we can.
Also, my belief for Tansy is Tansy has the chance to become something beautiful, but she won't.
Oh. Wow.
My God.
That's so real.
Wow. Where is the love? Okay. Valmina's back up.
Man, what else can I do? Like, I've done everything.
Does anyone have anything they actually want to do still?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm like, I need to think about this.
I'm looking to acquire an asset.
Okay. What asset are you acquiring?
I'm trying to access things like, and I think I need to speak to a hacker, if someone knows a hacker. Yeah, anything like passwords, security stuff, key cards, like anything like that. I'm just trying to give us items that we could theoretically use if one were to go into a base next mission and need to... Something that would potentially give us like increased effect for like hacking through a door or getting onto a computer or things like that.
So this is your pre-flashback.
Yeah. I'm trying to plan. I'm trying to plan.
Cafe has a guy.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Okay, my highest was a 5, so that gets us equivalent to the squad's tier. Then I'm going to spend 1 material to get it up to our tier +1, so it's at 3. And then another to get it up to tier +2, a crit. So it's tier 4 security clearance is what I'm trying to get. That brings us down to 9 more supply to use up, if anyone's got stuff.
Who's got stuff?
Like, it might be worth everyone who hasn't taken, like, playbook XP to just take 1 extra, or, like, extra in... Okay.
I'll do that. I haven't done it.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take the playbook.
This is very silly. Like, ugh, we have to do more stuff.
I have 2 points in my vehicle enhancement already, so I could finish that up and take an extra point in something. Or
do you want to do that?
Work. Yeah.
I still have one last downtime action. Just a free one. So I think I'm going to recover and get my system null down to less effect. Actually, I don't. I have to roll for that. Helter, may I get your assistance again?
Oh my god! Holy
And
shit!
you got a crit.
All right.
Holy
Nice. Shit. Yeah, sure got a crit.
You've been rolling really well today, Ruby. Like,
I didn't know I just had to tell people to get crits. I would have been giving more orders.
You need to be a
just roll
better
a
leader,
crit
Verbal.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've been letting us down.
All right, well, that was easy.
Perfect. So that still leaves us with 3 material we can use for, like, bribes and stuff next.
You know what? If there's ever a time to have things left over for bribes, it's trying to do a hostile takeover.
That's...
All right. So, as a closing scene...
Do you want me to take this call also from...
Yeah.
You're through to Sergeant Acquisition. How can I help?
There's a brief pause. And then you hear a click and a fumbling of a receiver. What? Hello? Verbal? Verbal Acquisition? Where the hell you been?
This is Acquisition. We've been busy.
We need those grenades on the front line right now.
Grenades are out of stock right now. There's been a... Fuck, you don't know about this.
We need you on the front line.
We can't supply
You're
grenades.
the only person who can hack Goliath.
We've already hacked Goliath.
What do you mean you've hacked Goliath? It's destroying everything.
Okay, is it destroying it with drones?
Yes.
Okay, but not as big a drones as they were.
We don't got time for this. I need you and your squad on the battlefield right now.
I'm just gonna hang up.
Hello? Hello? You see him dial another number. I'd like to order a pizza.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't say I wouldn't be there. Damn.
Thank you for joining us today, folks. For Session 8. The Farm Upstate. Thank you. We will see you next week for our final uptime. Where, who knows what we'll get up to.
I think I have a vague idea.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited by ScienceBird. You can find them on Twitter as @Vetero. That's VETARO. Sound balancing for this episode was done by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at cvblight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.